I first became interested in cooking as a young boy, and really as watching my grandparents in the kitchen, grandmother specifically. My grandmother on my dad's side lived on a ranch in East Texas, and I thought it was really cool how they would grow tomatoes and onions and carrots and everything else, and we would eat that evening. That was just really interesting to me. I also have two older sisters, so after getting the cooking bug, I remember waking up on Saturday mornings, and while my sisters watched cartoons, I was the one in the kitchen making breakfast for everybody, and would actually make them stay out of the kitchen and call me Mr. Chef and just have fun with it. So really at an early age, it was just, it's in your blood. I mean, this is a very difficult career and very passionate as well. So it's either in you or it's not. After many years of reading food and wine magazines and cookbooks and that kind of thing, I lived in Houston at the time, and so I called the Brennan's family and Brennan's of Houston, and was able to speak with a sous chef and asked them basically, how do I get my foot in the door? One thing led to another, and they actually had a very entry-level position at Brennan's of Houston. I was very green. I didn't know the basics of just kitchen equipment. You know, what's a chinois, what's a china cap, what's the difference, and just very green. I spent about 8 months after that at Brennan's of Houston, and started in desserts, went to different stations along the way. They were opening Commander's Palace in Las Vegas and asked me if I'd be willing to relocate out there to help them kind of give a Brennan's of Houston viewpoint to Commander's Palace, and I jumped at the opportunity. After being in Vegas for about 8 months as well, it was a whole new ball game. It was high-end kitchens, high-end product, high-end. So I knew that I wanted to strive for the best. I wanted to strive for perfection, and I started staging or working for free in my time off at the best restaurants at the time in Vegas. I was walking through the Aladdin Hotel and Casino, and I saw a sur la table, or a kitchen store, that had a big poster of a French Laundry cookbook, and the French Laundry was, I think, everybody's wish restaurant, their dream restaurant, and I saw that Thomas Keller was going to be there to sign cookbooks. I went by a motto at that time, and still do, that you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I decided to get my resume together, write a 2-page handwritten mission statement so I could be the first in line to get my book signed and hand that to Thomas Keller. And I think maybe 7 days later, a week later, I got home from work, and I had 2 messages on my recorder at home, and one was from a 5-star chef in Las Vegas who had finally had a position come available. And that was the first one. I was so excited. And then the second one obviously was Thomas Keller, which really threw me off, and asking me if I could give him a call. So it was very surreal. I wound up going to Napa and working for the French Laundry for just over 2 years, and the experience was unparalleled to anything I could get. After working at the French Laundry, I made my way back to Texas. I was a Texas boy and missed so much about the state. So landed a job at a 4-star restaurant in San Antonio called Le Rev, and was there for a short time. Moved back to Houston, was at the Houstonian Hotel, and then several other places in Houston before I located to Lake Charles. Throughout that whole time, with the contacts I met at the French Laundry and the colleagues, the friends, whatever you want to call them, I began to stage all over America, not just in Napa or in Vegas, and wound up being able to spend weeks at a time at places like Charlie Trotter's or Linea and work for free, but the experience was well worth it.